Good evening, sir. Sorry, guys. Maybe the sun might be a little bit behind the camera. Stay, quiet. Good evening, everyone. So, good evening, Sahabet. Good evening. Just to bring us up to speed. Good evening, guys, and I'm wishing everyone a beautiful weekend. And those of us in the UK, let's enjoy the bit of sunshine while it lasts. So, good evening, everyone, once again. I believe most of us must have seen the publication on Sahara Reporters on the Ijele's case and how things are going. First and foremost, I want to say a big thank you to his legal team, led by Chief Femi Falana, SAN, and Chambers and Co. Also to Deji Adeyunju and partners, led by Marvin Omorogbe, Deji Adeyunju himself, and Zainab, and as well to thank Omoyele Sowore, whom is generally known as the People's President, for standing and putting his time and resources and effort towards seeing that Ijele gets justice, and as well beckon on other Nigerians for us not to entirely lose hope. It might be difficult. It might be a difficult one for us not to entirely lose hope on the system, because honestly speaking, majority of us as Nigerians, we are swimming against the tide. We are swimming against an oppressive democratic institutions. But nonetheless, we keep pushing. And to Ijele in person, I must confess, he is paying the price at a great cost, at a personal cost. He's a family man, a family guy. He's got kids, parents. And for this truth he speaks, he's been paying the price heavily. Come back, come. Come, let's go back this way, come. Thank you. Yeah. It's all over the park. So he's been paying this at a great cost. And most of us know his health condition, which for privacy of his health and family, I wouldn't want to discuss details because, most of us would not want to learn about the health status of our loved ones via social media, and this I strongly take into consideration and into account. But all I can say is all I can say is keep fighting for now. And like I did say, um, just to give us a recap, two out of the three count charges has been struck off by the court today. So, and again, the court has deemed it fit to vary the stringent bail condition. And that being said, that is where we are at the minute. And I'll say this to all Nigerians and everyone who strongly believe in a better society. Ijele is not fighting this cause for any personal gain or any personal interest. Most may not like his approach, but the truth is he is fighting for a cause which he believes is for the next generation. And those of us who are paying attention on social media, I've always said this and I've always postulated this idea. It's just that most people may not think it's a game changer and it's going to change a lot of things. What is happening today within the Christendom or the Nigerian society is not anything different that happened in the 80s. Oh, my brother Alex Oga, thank you for the 20 stars. It's not anything different that has happened in time past. But then they only had traditional media, which was television and newspaper. But today we have social media where every one of us can have a voice, where people can engage, And within the social media space, we have many other bloggers, both Nigerians and non-Nigerians, and people of different across the continent who are putting out this thing out there. Like recently now, we've seen that even the so-called Papa J has come up to put a disclaimer to his miracle soap. But thank you for Very Dark Man for adding his voice and many Nigerians. What we are missing as a country and as a people is governance. And I believe we'll push for that good governance. We'll get there. If we can have 25 years of democracy with consistency, with tenacity of purpose, with strong desire, knowing that we are doing this to outlive us, definitely we'll get to that point where we all long to be, that this God of men will never have their way with all these shenanigans and criminality. Let me point out now, I think most of us may have seen it. The Ebonyi State House of Assembly have done that in great step. That today, Ebonyi State House of Assembly has passed laws, trying to tackle this issue of fake prophecies and, so-called, what do you call it, all these, stupid things this God of men do. This is where we're asking the National Assembly. We'll get there. Definitely, when my brother and great friend and a patriot regain his freedom, we will reshape the course. We will channel the energy, and now we begin to look at legislation. We begin to question the National Assembly. The only thing this God of men, the only advantage they have is they just, use the few corrupt elements within the rank and file of the Nigerian police force, to perpetuate all these their, so-called, how will I put it, malicious, intent. Now, I wouldn't want to even say much because, it's a question of save yourself from yourself. I cannot save anyone, neither can my brother save anyone, but he has that right to call out every shenanigan. My brother, Ifeanyi Chukwu, thank you for the 100 stars. My brother, Great Ijele, has that every right to call out every shenanigans by all these their so-called God of men. Now, let me even try to be petty here. What I mean by being petty, this is a God of man, Ebukobi, who goes about instructing his members to go and bring Cain, mention their problem, their demons, and flog it and, carry out abracadabra. But when he's dealing with life issues, he now resorts to using the Nigerian police, corrupting every angles. I will still say it. It doesn't, it doesn't jeopardize anything. This is the truth. The Nigerian police cannot deny this. There are evidences all over the place. Mountain of fire is there. So many of these God of men, OPM, all their shenanigans are there. If the police were doing the right thing, pastors like the OPM pastor in Port Harcourt, this man should be behind bars, for goodness sake. They should be behind bars. He has no right walking free. This is an evidence. 2 young girls, baby involved. What did you get at the end of the day? Even when this young girl produced every material evidence, including voice calls, DNA tests were involved. DNA tests were involved. So at the end of the day, I don't know why people say don't speak the truth. Not even mention about Mountain on Fire, where you have a pastor that was unlawfully detained for 9 years. And that cannot happen without the compromise of these so-called few corrupt police officers who act as the prosecutors and, the trouble within the judiciary as well. But now let me just focus on my brother's issue. This is what he has been dealing with since 19th of March to this day. That is the simple truth. Now, the same Ebuko Obi will tell his members to go and bring Cain. Begin to brainwash them to the extent he tells them to flog their demons, pray. Now, he claims somebody defamed him online. If he has that power to command, the spirit world, and he can see everything unseeable of Utrafancha, Metrafancha, what stops him from using, this is a classic case where he has to use that power to deal with Ijele and deal with myself. These guys, they've got no powers. But unfortunately, like I said, it is only you that will save yourself from yourself. Because these guys are extremely, malicious. And again, let me use this medium to thank the likes of Pastor Abel Damina. Yes, he was part of that cycle, and he's still part of that cycle. But now, he is reinvigorated. He has said, what? He has to channel a new course. And we all have seen it, how they attack him, all these things. But then, as a Nigerian, as someone who has lived in England for a couple of years, I know the difference. What is that difference? Absence of governance. And these are the areas I believe that we need to channel our energy. call out the National Assembly to begin to put legislations in place that will address these issues, then begin to tackle the professional bodies, i.e. the Nigerian Medical Association, to sit up and do the needful. At the end of the day, they have a role to play. Say, for example, if somebody could come and see children with, let's say level 3 autism and claim that is a spiritual problem that's been done in a shrine, or somebody who says this person has a vitiligo and he knows nothing about vitiligo and he categorizes that as a spiritual problem, these are the areas where the Nigerian Medical Association needs to begin to charge them, for medical disinformation and prosecute these persons. But let's not give up. Ebonyi State has set that example. All we are asking for, at least Lagos State in particular, we have many churches in Lagos State in their numbers. If they could begin to put legislations to begin to address from noise pollution to fake miracles to all these shenanigans, believe you me, we cannot give up on Nigeria. We must fight. Ijele has walked the talk. He is paying this at a personal great cost, at his own discomfort. His health is at risk, but then he strongly believes in the next generation, in the next, for the posterity. He strongly believes on that. And, guys, this is it. So all I'm saying is this. Ijele, is paying for this price at a great personal cost. His liberty has been taken away from him for almost getting to 5 months. But then he's still not deterred. He's still determined. But let's see. The case is still before the Federal High Court in Lagos. So we have one count charge to contend with. And majority of us who has been following closely knows this is purely a case of malicious intent. And I wouldn't want to mention some certain things. But then, if the police were to be neutral, if the police, when I say the police, I mean those prosecutors and their detectives, if they were to do their job thoroughly, majority of these god of men and your so-called that the GOs, honestly, they are candidates, they should be locked up in prisons. They are not the first. I live in London. I can tell you for a fact, many churches have been shut down for similar things. Even those, I wouldn't mention names, there are even some Nigerian clergies who had big churches here in London or in the UK. One has relocated to Nigeria permanently, and they wouldn't say the reason for relocating. They are simply running away from prosecution. But those of us who live in England or who knows the case, knows the person I'm talking about. Before they say I'm defaming their names. But they wouldn't say this is the reason why they're on the run. And they have left the UK permanently for good. They've gone to Nigeria. Because of what? They are running for prosecution. From tax reasons. First, it is against the UK law to even move, taxes or charity money out of the UK. Not to mention the other one. There is a church not too far somewhere around Newham. The pastor is in jail. He defies young kids, and this same thing happens elsewhere. Those of us who knows about what is happening within the Vatican, when they talk about the Vatican, this is, the center of holiness within the Catholic Church. I'm not here to despise them or to talk down on them, but then a thorough investigation was carried out. The Vatican accepted their wrongdoing. Many priests all over the world, in Australia, in America, they've been arrested and prosecuted for one offenses or the other. But the same offenses are being carried out by men in COSOC, these so-called clergymen in Nigeria. But what is the difference? Rather than the police to be neutral and prosecute and protect the rights of the victims, what I see, or what many of us have noticed, is the police to work side by side with these guys, and weaken the whole case. In most cases, they even make the victims to become the perpetrators and the perpetrators the victims. But the question is, how long do we allow this to carry on? We have a genuine cause to fight. That today, it took the effort of so many Nigerians and bloggers on social media to make the so-called Papa J to backtrack and begin to save his own head and begin to even, play down his own claim of his miracle soap. And every thanks to what? VDM and many other bloggers who played a key role in this. And we have more role to play. But then, most people are so religiously inclined that they are worried about speaking this truth because they consider speaking the truth as a kind of blasphemism on God. No. I mean, I'm a human, and I'm meant to live as a human. This God of men, they only blackmail the gullible population, saying it's attack on Christianity. there's nothing like attack on Christianity. Rather, most of them are hiding behind this and committing things that ordinarily the law should address. You know, guys, I will love you all and leave you now. Let's keep up believing all for the best for my brother Ijele. Hopefully, you know, this is a legal battle. He's going to go through that route. He understands this, we understand this. Even if it's at a great discomfort on him, his health, his liberty, and, you know, the foot dragging, the delay tactic that's been employed all the days, you know, from March 19th to this day, the persecution, because whether I like it or not, what my brother is facing today is persecution, not prosecution, and he will come out of this. We hope at the appropriate time, he will be here to, you know, tell his own story. He will be here to speak for himself. And again, those who have been going around banditing all sorts of malicious lies against Ijele, they cannot prove it. Those are not facts. Those are malicious lies. Those are propagandas. And you know, let's keep the faith within the judiciary and see how all this plays out. For now, most of us have seen it on Sahara Reporter. At least the court has carefully looked at the 3 count charges and found 2 to be non-existent, and they struck it out. But Femi Falana and co and Deja Denju, they're still going to challenge that 1 count charge, and hopefully the way it will go, all will be struck out and he will regain his freedom, and he keeps fighting for this. You know, he is not going to relent. He's not going to let this God of man have their way the way they wish. The only thing, the challenges we face as a people are the institutions who are working against the will of justice. And I'll leave you guys now. I love you all and leave you. Let's all keep the hope alive. We may have our personal discrepancies, our personal bias against Nigeria, but if we all give up as a people, that means we've simply given this so-called, you know, disgruntled element, or these people who do not want to build a better society, the liberty to have their way. Thank you all, and speak to you soon. Bye now.